Hello and welcome to another Haaland. The Premier League is back. It's tomorrow back. The big game, early kickoff. Liverpool, Man City, Arsenal take on Leeds, Chelsea, Aston Villa, battle of the ninth. And then Newcastle, Man United. Newcastle, Man United, of course. Big game for the fourth spot. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Also, Everton plays Spurs on a Monday. And then the football doesn't stop because Tuesday, right away, Premier League comes back. So, Ty, how's everything with you? I missed everybody here. I missed you guys all. I hope everybody's great.
Yeah, no, it's obviously you had a nice little break, which was deserved as well. I'm so happy Premier League is back. Do you know what? It feels like this 2 weeks has been a month. I don't know if it's just because it's crunch time of the season, like the league's hotting up, relegation's hotting up, Champions League's hotting up, Europa League's hotting up. I just feel like this is the business end of the season, and now we're just gonna come back to like what 2 months of straight football. And I know me, you're excited. I know the people in the comments are excited. So smash a like if you're excited that the football is back. But yeah, Mo, man, it's this is it now. Like I feel like there's nowhere to hide now. There's so many games. There's so much pressure in different types of games. This is it. This is what we live for, man. Bring it on.
Yeah, 100%. We're going to go through the games, of course, especially the big games. We're going to talk about them, see who's favorite, see what can happen, and talk to Ty. Me and him will dissect the games a little bit. And we don't see the future, but we're going to try to see the givens and what we have and actually come up with a conclusion. And we might be completely wrong, as we have been before. Just put that in your mind.
Yeah, it's true. It's just opinions. It's just opinions.
Yeah, but big up everybody in the comments. Make sure to hit that like button for us. Ty, there's only one place to start, which is the Etihad. It is Liverpool, Man City, the biggest game in English football in the past 4 or 5 years, of course. Lots of rivalries, Klopp versus Pep, and the captains Van Dijk, Haaland now, Diaz, Edison, Allison, everyone, Kyle Walker, Trent. It's the best right back in the league of the past 5 years. It's everywhere. The rivalries are everywhere on this game. And I want to ask you something. Can Liverpool get something out of this game? They look hopeful. The fans look hopeful to get something out.
Do you know what? Do you know what? The way Liverpool can get something out of this game, yeah. First of all, I'm so happy, right, that this is the first game back from the international break. Big up Daps as well. I see him in the comments. We've done a sick preview yesterday, people. If you're a Man City fan, make sure you look into that preview of Kopish and Monts and Lewis from City Extra as well yesterday. I'm so excited that this is the first game back. I even think as a neutral as well, and a Man City and Liverpool perspective, they're excited because if you go into that game, yeah, like Daps is on his way to Manchester now, as you know, he's going to the game. If they win the first game back, 12:30, you're kind of set up for the weekend. You can kind of enjoy it knowing that the pressure's off. If you lose, the annoying thing is that you've got to then wait another week before you play your next game. So for Liverpool, obviously, it's Tuesday against Chelsea. For City, it's next Saturday or Sunday against Southampton. So City want to win this. But in regards to your question, can Liverpool get something out of this? It'll be interesting to see what the comments think. But the only way Liverpool, I think, gets something out of this is if City start poorly and City don't perform, because I think Man City are the better team this season. I think Man City, with Haaland potentially being available, if I'm honest, because it looks like he's going to train at 4:00 and Pep said we'll see. I think, he'll want him there. If you've seen Pep's press conference, he said, this is where I've got to make brave calls, or this is where it gets big now. And like the way he's talking was like, Haaland, you're going to play. So for me, I think, this is on City to just turn up, deliver, and I think they beat this Liverpool team. Could Liverpool deliver because they've not got the pressure mode? This is the difference, right? We're going into the biggest game of the season in terms of the teams in the last 4 or 5 years at the Etihad, right? And Liverpool have normally had that pressure of, can they beat Man City? Can they go to the Etihad and win? They've only done the double over them since 2016. So they don't really win at the Etihad. But because Liverpool haven't got that pressure of anything really to play for, okay, you have got top 4 mathematically. I get that. But, Salah's not been that great this season. Nunes, training, hit and miss. Gakpo is Gakpo. Luis Diaz is not going to be rushed back. Could Liverpool go there and perform because there's no pressure on them? Whereas in other years, you've been playing City when it's a top of the table clash, or, you could go 5 points clear, or if you lose, City go 8 points clear. It's just really tight. So both teams have pressure in different ways, but the least pressure is with Liverpool. Now, do you think that could play to Liverpool's advantage tomorrow?
No, I think Liverpool will get smashed.
Woo!
To be honest, I think Liverpool. I think what he did in the first game, defending at Anfield, I think that was early in the season. I think now I think Jurgen Klopp might try to a little bit play a little bit on the front foot, try to press, try to play his game like he did against Man United, like even what he
Mm.
did against Real Madrid. Against Real Madrid in both games, he tried to take the game to the opposition. He did the same. I think against Arsenal as well. He didn't sit back, and I think, in my opinion, if he do that, he will get ripped apart. I think he will get, like, listen, his players are not informed unless 5, 6, 7 players come back and they are on form. I don't see Liverpool getting something out of this game unless Jurgen Klopp, you know what, like, get rid of the ego, get rid of the way he thinks, get rid of the way he plays football, and just switch it to play. I'm not gonna say a small team mentality, because
Would
even
you say go defensive and just try and soak it up? Okay, Brentford beat them. I get it. Brentford beat them earlier in the season. Brentford did actually try and play a bit of football, to be fair. But of course, City have more of the ball. Against Everton, City had much more of the ball. Do you think Liverpool need to just say, right, we're going to sit back and try and counter, basically? Like Man United,
100%.
like Man United did under Oli.
Yeah, even when you try to play, when you try to get out of your places and play your progressive football against the likes of City in the first game, you were torn apart. And even though it's early in Ten Hag's era, I think anybody that is gonna try to play against City and try to push them forward, you'll have to be the Liverpool of the last 2 or 3 years. You'll have to be the Liverpool that can break the press, that can actually get out of the press. Your players are on form up top, so they are firing. Everything is on target, but not these Liverpool players. I think Liverpool players now, they're not firing, they're not in form. And I think when you have the likes of Nunes, who's quick on the counter, you can try to play Nunes on Diaz or Stones. He's faster than them. However, it's Kyle Walker there, but I think Nunes outpace anybody in the league, to be honest. That's by numbers. So I think he should play to his strength, Jurgen Klopp, and just defend and try to break the high line, try to break the press of Man City, and try to play behind the lines. I think that's what should happen.
Because the thing is, City will have a lot of the ball, so they will want to play up a higher line. Obviously, Akanji's been playing a lot this year. Aki's been playing. I'm probably thinking Walker plays because of the pace element that Liverpool will possess on the break. Obviously, you go Walker. You probably go Diaz. And I don't know if Stones or Akanji plays because Aki will play left back. I'm actually intrigued to see what Pep does in terms of his defensive profiles he goes with, because I'm not saying Akanji's better than Stones, but if Liverpool are to play more on a counter-attack, Akanji's quicker, and he's probably one of their quickest centre-backs. I'm not saying he's the best, but in terms of profile for that game, he could suit it. But for me, I actually said in the preview yesterday, Mo, I feel like this is the first time in 4 or 5 years that we're going into a Man City-Liverpool game, and I'm very confident with Man City. I don't feel like I'm going into this and I'm like, oh, is it a 50-50 game? I do feel like if the best Man City turns up, Man City do win. I think they've been more clinical this year. I think they defensively have been solid. They've got 5 clean sheets in their last 5 games. You look at the games like Crystal Palace, Newcastle. They're teams that can all score. They can all score on the break as well. Newcastle can score on the break. Crystal Palace can score on the break. They weren't able to do that. Now, Liverpool have got more clinical players. I get it. But I just feel like when you go into a big game, if you know you've got someone up front like Erling Haaland, who will get a chance tomorrow. We know we'll talk on Van Dijk shortly, but you know he'll get a chance. He'll get a chance tomorrow. If your defense is solid, you then go into a big game feeling comfortable, feeling solid. And Lewis from City Extra made a good point yesterday. He said, the way I feel like right now, which is very weird for a Man City fan, is that if we go 1-0 up tomorrow and the game stays at 1-0, say, for example, 70th minute, 75th, 70th, 80th minute, he feels confident now that they can hold out a 1-0 victory. And that's not something you're accustomed to with City. Normally, they're scoring much more goals than that to win games. But, that's a good place for City to be. And if fans feel like they can take a 1-0 lead and defend it.
I disagree completely. I think Man City, maybe lately, yes, because they have kept the clean sheets, but Man City concede more goals than what they should this year. It's just these are numbers, and this is the way they concede more chances.
But they've not had the most balanced defense. So wouldn't you say
that's what I'm saying?
World Cup, this last 5 games is what you've got to go off, because that is the last 5 games.
Yeah, but also, you don't know. Is Stones fit again? 100% fit. Uh,
I don't know. I don't know actually.
exactly. Stones is a big factor in them keeping clean sheets and play. I think Ake as well, but however, Diaz has been. How many games that Diaz played this year? I think for me, City rely on their offensive line more than the defensive line this year. Even Kyle Walker is a little bit slower, just one slower. It's the biggest problem, as Daniel here says, it's the biggest problem this year is that the defense. Now Stones is fit, yes.
Okay, Stones is fit.
Is
Okay.
he if he has everybody fit? Yes. However, 1-0 is a tricky score line. Again, it's the Liverpool team. A set piece, a corner, a one-off play. I think maybe they can do this against smaller teams, but with all due respect, Liverpool, they still have the firepower to score goals. They will, if you give Liverpool a 20-minute to draw a game, they might get a goal. They might. I don't think. I think we're. Yes, they are out of form because the last two games against Real Madrid and Bournemouth they lost. But remember, they kept five clean sheets on the bounce before that,
Mm-hmm.
scoring left and right. So also they had a break now, and most of the players are back now and they're training. So Thiago, they say, might be available. So for me, I think 1-0 is a tricky situation.
What
City,
if? Okay, so if we had to talk about it right now, I think you're going to answer the same as me. If Liverpool take the lead, I have confidence that Man City can bring the game back and win 2-1, for example, like we did against them at Old Trafford. They took the lead, we come back and we beat them. If Liverpool go behind tomorrow, the way Liverpool are playing this season, the way Liverpool are mentally this season, do you feel like this Liverpool team can come back? Because in other years, if they went 1-0 down at the Etihad, I actually believe that Liverpool can score a goal still. They've shown that time and time again. I don't know if they can come back tomorrow if City take an early lead.
I don't think so. Maybe, however, into the game against Man City, if Man City is not controlling the game 100%, I think Liverpool might be able to score. I can't just count out Liverpool. I can't just say that Liverpool will lose this game. I think, yes, Man City will win the game. They are favorites and everything. But if it's 1-0, if you're a Man City fan and you're sitting there, you're nervous, you're anxious because
Mm.
you're not confident. If you're
Because
2
you
0 up,
know,
yes.
because you just know Liverpool can do a moment.
Yes. They
Yeah.
have players that they can do something. So we just have to wait and see. But on paper, I think Man City should be favorites. Man City should win this game 2-3-0 or 3-1 or
Wow,
something.
confident.
I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
so. Yeah. I think the
Are you waking
Liverpool
up to watch the game, by the way?
100%. Yes,
Yeah, you've got to.
100%.
You've got to. I
I'm
love that.
actually not only waking up, like it's the whole time for the last thing I am gonna eat, and then I'm gonna pray, and
And then
then
watch the
wait
game.
for the game, and watch it.
Perfect.
And
No,
it's
I
gonna be a
love.
long day. Tomorrow football start for me at 6:30 and ends at 4.
Wow, it's a long day. Let me just get through some of the comments. Big up people. I
Yeah.
say City win 4-1. Please, Liverpool. Arsenal for life, begging. Jaminho from Liami. Hope you well, Jaminho, by the way. I see you in the comments. Travelli says Liverpool can do something. I think Pep will play Aki, Stones, Diaz, and Walker. Big up the panel and chat. Mitchell says it's done if we go behind. He obviously must be a Liverpool fan as well. Salah and Gakpo and Nunes could be devastating up front on their day. But yeah, do you know what's interesting? And you know it's going to be a question that a lot of people ask before we go into another game. With Man City and obviously the league at the moment, they're 8 points off with a game in hand. And this is not obviously their game in hand, but you know what I mean? They need to go and win this. If Man City don't win, they obviously play before Arsenal. So you could say the worst scenario is they lose tomorrow, Arsenal go 11 points clear. How important is it for you that City win tomorrow? Like, is it you cannot even draw this game? It's win every game now and just hope that Arsenal slip up and obviously you beat them at the Etihad. Is it simple as that for you?
So if City don't win the game tomorrow or draw the game, they will be 7 points, and then Arsenal will win the game against Leeds, and we'll come to that, and then it's gonna be 10 points. Yes, with the game at hand, 10 points with 9 games to go is a big margin, and with this Arsenal team, who they don't slip as often as we are used to them,
Whoa.
it's okay. You get that. So I think Man City have to win the game. Listen, if you want to win the league, you got to win against Liverpool at home. I think so. I think Man City have to win the game. they are favorites to win the game, and they should win the game. I think there's so much pressure on them tomorrow. However, if they win against Liverpool, the amount of pressure on Arsenal is massive. Even against Leeds at home. Leeds have had 2 games now with a draw and 1-1. I think it's absolutely massive for them that they win. For both sides of the poll, if they don't win, they put pressure on themselves. If they win, they put a lot of... Is it broken?
Yeah, it's smashed to pieces. The top's come off completely.
It's done. Oh my god. Okay.
Oh, never mind. That's because Martial's back. That light's like Martial, injury prone. But carry on, Mo. Sorry, that was funny. Light.
Yeah. So for me, I think Man City have to win to have not to have a chance. Everybody has a chance, but to put pressure on Arsenal, to put more pressure on Arsenal before they play Leeds. And that's the last thing. Your predictions. I want your predictions for this game.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. You know what? I think with the break, it's actually going to suit Liverpool in terms of for them mentally. I don't think it means it's going to be bad on City. I mean, City will still go out and win the game for me, but I don't think we'll see a Liverpool that we'll see him before the international break. They won't get blown over. So I'm actually going to probably say 2-1 City. It'll be tight.
For me, I think Man City will win this game 3-1.
Okay, yeah. So 2-1 and 3-1. Let us know in the comments, guys. And by the way, just to clear it up with the mod situation as well, me, Daps, Casmo, we've all just come together and basically just said there was a situation last week. Just to clear it up for anyone that missed it yesterday, there was a situation last week where one of our guys that is a member comments he got banned by one of the mods. Obviously, we don't know which mod it was, so I'm not talking to anyone individually. But obviously, it shouldn't have happened, and it did happen. So we've just cleared the mods for now, and we are going to get the mods back. So don't feel offended, anyone. Don't feel like I've done something wrong or anything like that. We just want to start it clean, and we appreciate all the hard work you guys have done in building up the channel and helping us. It's still important, so don't worry. That will be sorted out with the mod situation. So yeah, don't worry about that.
People will be added as mods again. It's just we're figuring out some stuff because of what happened to one of our members, and because members, of course, they support us as well. So we need to figure out who's gonna do what. So
yeah, so it's
just bear with us a little bit. We'll move to Arsenal and Leeds.
Yeah. This is Jaminho. He's here. He's been one of the regulars for time. I see him in the comments. Arsenal fans. Travelli's here. They're ready. They're breathing. You know, confidence. And you know what's so funny, Mo, as well? Like, it's this case of, you know, like we might not win the league, or they're really trying to play it down. And because obviously I understand they have not been in this situation for a long time. You know, their expectations were top 4 at the start of the season. They're still surpassing expectations. But Mo, I'm going to be real. You're right, Sophia. I'm going to be real. It's past that point for me now. You know, of the point where if Arsenal lose the league, they've still achieved what they wanted to do, which was getting top 4. I get it. And I was in that camp. But with 10 games to go and being 4 or 7 points clear, you are wanting to win this title. If they don't win the title now, Arsenal fans will 100% be majorly disappointed, because let me just say it as it is. I don't feel, and I could be wrong, by the way, this is something that we said, it's opinions. I don't feel that Arsenal next year, the year after, or the year after that will be in a better position than they are today, speaking at this time in the season, to win a Premier League title. I know that people say, oh, you know, them teams might not get better, but I do believe Man United will get better. I do believe Chelsea will get better. Liverpool is who knows what can happen, but I do believe Man United and Chelsea will get better. Now, if that's 2 more teams that are going to be more competitive than what it is now, then that makes it harder to win a league. That's just a simple maths. So I feel like now Arsenal are in that position where they need to kick on. They need to go on now. They're out of the Europa League. There's no excuses. And if they win the league at the end of the season, they deserve it. Simple as that. They deserve it. Travelli even says here, look, 22-3-3 is their record. That's like a boxing record for a top fighter, if I'm honest. That, you know, is a good record. They've been consistent. They need to get the job done tomorrow. This is Leeds at home. With no Gnonto, by the way. Tyler Adams or Max Wober, 3 of their most important players.
So you're saying that Arsenal don't deserve to win the league at this moment?
No, they do. Arsenal deserve to win the league.
At now.
And they should go on and win the league
Mm.
because this is their best opportunity. I know Arsenal fans will play it down and say, you know, obviously it's not over. Of course, you don't want to act like you've won the league. I wouldn't be doing that either. But they deep down know, them fans here watching, they know it's a big chance for them. They know it's the moment for them. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. But I think Arsenal should win the league. I think Arsenal will win the league. I'm looking at this Arsenal and I don't see any reason to doubt them. I don't see any
Is
reason.
that tomorrow or is that for the title?
I think that's for the title as well. I don't see any reason to doubt them. Odegaard is fit. The knock is not as bad from Rodri. Everybody's fit and that Jesus is back. So I think Arsenal, if you ask me now, I will put money on Arsenal winning the league. I'm not saying that you bet. I don't gamble, but I will say that my vote will go to Arsenal to win the league because I think from now on, if they do win it, I'm not going to use the word failure because people are afraid of it. It's a massive opportunity missed. Massive opportunity missed.
That's what I'm saying. It's an
You're
opportunity.
8 points ahead now. You're playing Leeds at home. Yes, you have tough games. Yes, you have hard games. However, you have been going through everyone in this league and you should be okay. You lost 3 games. You drew 3 games. And I think Arsenal now are in the pole position to win this league. Yes, we have seen City win games in the in the latter stages now, like 3-4 games, the last 3-4 games. But I think Arsenal as well, they are winning games left and right. They're winning games, making them look easy, which is a sign of a champion. Like the likes of Fulham, when they played them, they looked very, very easy team for Arsenal. And that's a sign of a team that is in control. So for me, they win the game. Tomorrow, I'm expecting them to win easily. However, Leeds can put in a fight. But again, Arsenal should win easy.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think this is a game where Saka scores again. You know, with the contract talks, I think he probably puts everything's falling for him. Like the way it's worked this season, they've played very well. And, you know, I think with the Saka new deal, he'll probably score tomorrow and it just gets them going even more. I expect like a 3-0 Arsenal. I don't even see, Leeds scoring despite Saliba being out. And what's impressing me as well about Arsenal is that even the games like Leeds tomorrow, but for example, Crystal Palace, the one before the international break, it's the way they're beating teams they should be beating. Okay, we can look at the game where they won 3-2. Who was that against? You remember they come back? Bournemouth. So they had the Bournemouth game, of course, and they won 3-2 in that. But again, that was a great win because it shows the mentality of being able to come back from 2-0 down. But then it's, a week or two later, they play Crystal Palace, who are obviously managerless, but still, you've got to beat them. And they dispatch them 4-0 or 4-1, whatever the score was. So it's the way they're beating these teams. They're not making hard work of it, really. Like I feel like Arsenal, they're playing the Leicesters, they're going away and beating them 1-0, but dominating. You're playing Fulham away, you're dominating. It's the way they're beating these teams. So they're not really giving me any reason to think that they're going to drop points. And that's the interesting part of it. I'm just going to go through some of the comments as well while you do that. It goes, no game is easy, but Arsenal are doing the business. Arsenal get Leeds United early. They'll score first and the game will be done. Don't underestimate any team, Gabigol says. Bournemouth showed us that, but you still come back and won. Do you know what I mean? Let's have a look. Put pressure on Leeds United early. There was a couple of comments I did want to see as well. If Saliba doesn't line up versus Liverpool, it could be long. Get Jesus starting for tomorrow's game. That is interesting, actually. I'll ask you, see what you think on that. Should Jesus start, actually, Mo, after? They ain't winning the league. Jay Bright says, this narrative is fraud. Everyone else will get better next season, not Arsenal. No. So what I'm saying, Jay Bright, is Arsenal will definitely get better next season. We've already said that, Xhaka could be upgraded. You could look at other areas, maybe getting someone else to help Saka on the right wing because he's played a lot of games. Arsenal would definitely get better. But Man United and Chelsea will get better. So what I'm saying is instead of 2 teams going for the title, there will be 4 teams trying to challenge for the title. Whether they do it or not, I don't know. So this is the best, like Mo said, this is the best opportunity at the moment for you to grab that title. Daniel says 1 game at a time. Keep smashing that like button as well, people. Over 100 of you here. So let's try and get towards 100 likes Friday afternoon. So please make sure you do that. Team with the most points at the end deserves it. And then I think someone asked a question for us as well. Let me just find that, Mo. Someone says, you lot think we're going to have 4 or 5 teams seriously going for the league next year? I don't. Always a 2-horse race in the end. He's not wrong. In terms of when it comes to it,
Can you put that comment again? Put that comment again.
Yeah. So do you not think you'll have 4 or 5 teams seriously going for the league next year? I don't. Or with a 2-horse race. I don't think 2, but I'd like to see a 3-horse race, and 3 is enough for me, Mo.
I want to discuss this with people that have said something about the best era of the Premier League being the last 4 or 5 years, because Liverpool and Man City went on it. And I think from 2009 until 2018, when no team has won it twice in a row, I think that was the best era of the modern Premier League. I'm a neutral. I don't like dominance. I like back and forth. So I don't like this 2-horse race thing until the end. I like it to have more than this. But to be honest, in the modern era, we have not seen that often. Even the Leicester, Spurs, Arsenal, that was the only one, and that was one of the lowest point tally Premier League winner. I don't think there is going to be 3-4 teams next year going for the league. I think, based on what I'm looking, I think the problem with it is that the 90+ point thing does not allow many teams to go through it. It has to be only 2 teams. Yes, you go mid 80s, you get 3 teams. Early 80s, you can get 4 teams. But the math don't add up. 2 teams going to 90+ points, you cannot have more than 2 teams. That just doesn't add up, to be honest. Otherwise, you will see a massive gap between everybody, the 3 teams and everybody else, and that doesn't happen more often. More often, the top 4 race is more exciting than the title race because it involves way more teams, as we see this year. So
what do you think, though? Like, if you are, because Mix Mitchell says it always ends up as a 2-horse race for as long as I can remember, and that's since '94. If you had to put your heart on your sleeve right now, do you think it's the same next year as in City and just Arsenal?
No, it's only going to be City next year, and maybe Man United. That's what I think.
Ooh, there we go. Okay, perfect.
I don't think Arsenal are going to play the same football next year. I don't know why. I just have this feeling. It's not a doubt. It's just I think that City will play better than how they play this year. I think City will go back to the 100+ points next year.
Okay, and what makes you think, me playing devil's advocate, what makes you think that Manchester United could be the team that challenges City next year over Arsenal?
Not challenge. I think they're going to be there and thereabout with Arsenal, because I'm looking at the first 2 games, and if I'm adding these 6 points to Man United, where do you stand on the table? That's what I want to know. Like, if you look at this table, you're 50 points. You can be 56 points with a game in hand if you add the first 2 games that you lost. Yes, there are 2 games, but you were just, you know what, you're just starting the car and it didn't start yet. You know what I mean? And you're heating up you're warming up the car and it hasn't started yet, and you can go on the first 2 games. I think next year you might not lose them. If they were mid-season, you might not lose them. And I think if I'm looking at this, you might have been 59 points, 2 points.
Yeah. Actually, people are questioning in the comments as well, saying Chelsea, could they be there? There's a few comments responding.
Not with Graham Potter. If they get something like Luis Enrique or something, if they get, I don't know, Nagelsmann is a different story. But I think Chelsea, listen, people, I'm not about that model of football, Chelsea. Listen, the reports are coming, and we're going to come to Chelsea. I don't want to talk about Chelsea a lot because there are a couple of reports that are very strange in the last couple of days. But I think City, they are favorites to win it next year, which is very strange. Looking at Arsenal this year, it's very strange that I'm saying this, but I'm just seeing the City, and when they click, they're dangerous. They're very, very dangerous. But looking at Arsenal this year, I think this is their opportunity to win the league. Tomorrow against Leeds, they should win the game. And if they don't win the game, I think I'll change my opinion and I'll say, especially if Man City win against Liverpool.
If Man City win tomorrow and Arsenal drop points, their asses are going to be squeaking.
Yeah, I think Man City will go.
And do you know what? Me as a football fan, Mo, I want to see that because I want to see Arsenal fans get tense because they keep winning at the moment, and I just want to see that. So yeah, I think Arsenal wins 3 or 4-0. I think they beat them comfortably, and it's just on City to beat Liverpool. But I disagree with Mo in terms of Arsenal next season. I think if Arsenal go on and win the league next year and they do manage to strengthen, I think that they will still be up there because they've got a system, they've got a manager that's got the trust, and I think they'll only get a bit better next year, and maybe getting a bit better will be enough to keep them up there. So it will be very interesting, guys. In the comments, make sure you're just keeping it,
What is going on?
Professional, yeah, nice in there, friendly in there. It's only football, guys. You know, all they're doing is kicking something that's roundabout. So you don't need to argue with each other, man. You can disagree, of course, about football, but come on, guys, keep it respectful in the comments. But we're going to Chelsea because I think
guys, we are not Arsenal haters.
Why do people think I'm a hater? I don't get it. I've given.
Also, we just said that Arsenal will win the league. How are we haters?
And I just said, I just disagreed with Mo and said they'll be up there next season. Oh man, I can't win. Do you know what I have to say, Mo?
I cannot win.
No, I've got to say that Arsenal win the treble next year. That's the only thing. That's the only thing I could do now. But we'll go on to Chelsea because obviously people are talking about Chelsea and what they'll do next season. But let's talk about this season.
Can we just get something out of the way? Lucky Singh keeps posting this comment about breaking news. Drift risen to £535. It could end up 600 million. No, 600,000. 600,000. He's 600 million. Yes.
Yeah.
600 million. And it could be bankrupt. I don't think it's going to be bankrupt. Once the debt reaches a certain point, they are forced to sell for a lower price, so people will get their money because the club valuation is higher than the debt. This is something just financial, and I know this because it happened to my company. If the company is worth more than the debt, you are forced to sell, and the creditors will take their money. So it's as simple as that. So they won't be bankrupt. It won't be bankrupt. Chelsea. There are reports that they are, after Nkunku is coming next year, of course, they signed that in January, along with tons of people. They are looking to sign freaking Victor Osimhen. They already talked to Napoli people asking how much money they want. Why should I sit here and support this model of football? Am I a hater? Maybe. I don't like it. You're ruining football if you go and sign Osimhen. And
why are they ruining football? They're not. They just they need a striker. They're trying to sign one of the best strikers in world football.
But they already signed plenty
of
players.
You wouldn't be saying that Chelsea are ruining football if Osimhen cost 40 million.
Yes, but he doesn't. That's a fact. So you're saying if. I'm not saying
okay,
if.
Yeah, but Chelsea are not going to go for a striker that's 40 million. They want someone who can score goals right now. They want a killer number 9.
Not the most informed striker in the world, along with Haaland.
But what's wrong? Okay, so what's wrong with Chelsea?
Because they signed Nkunku, who is a false nine. How are you going to fit all of these forwards? How are you going to fit Modric?
Osimhen's a proper number 9, and
how are you going to fit?
Nkunku will play in behind,
and we're going to play all forwards. So that's it. We're going to play Sterling, Sterling, Modric.
Go on,
all of these people. Sterling, Modric. They have
Nkunku.
They have Kai Havertz. Well.
Osimhen. So Havertz could
go. Give me a second. Lukaku is coming back. He's on the books, making 15 million. So he's a player that they paid 100 million. Yeah. Who else do they have on the roster? I can look at the roster and we can count players.
Yeah, they've got that David Fofana.
Yes.
Aubameyang's still there, but I think Aubameyang goes. I think Lukaku goes. I think Havertz could go Bayern. Mason Mount could leave. So I'm looking at
once they do that, I'm fine.
Okay, so once they do that, fine. But that's what I expect them to do. They can't just buy all these players and keep everyone. They have to release some players from that squad. They have to sell. I don't believe if Chelsea get Victor Osimhen, it's a bad thing for football. I know people don't like it, that they've come in and spent a lot of money. And I understand because obviously a lot of teams would want to have that money and spend like that. It's exciting as a Chelsea fan. Sometimes it can be frustrating. However, if I keep it football-based, they obviously want João Felix to probably stay. He'll be another one. And obviously Osimhen. So that could be maybe 200 million on both of them, 70 million, 130 million. Let's call it that. I get it. It's frustrating. But if Chelsea do that, they might not need to spend in the second, third, and fourth year because then they've built their squad already. So they've spent a lump sum, but over maybe 5 years, it might actually equate to something more logical mathematically. But Chelsea, for me, they need a striker, Mo. They need a striker. They're playing better football, I would say, but they haven't got the ball in the net enough times. They're not as convincing at home as they used to be. I think going to Stamford Bridge used to be one of the trickiest places in the league. But, I look at Victor Osimhen, right? And profile-wise, he just gives me Didier Drogba 2.0. He can really be a hit at Chelsea. Powerful, strong. They have quite a small pitch, so he'll get opportunities in sort of tight areas, the little scrappy goals, 6, 10 yards out, 12 yards out. I just think that Chelsea and Victor Osimhen is a good fit for the way that, they'll play. You look at Graham Potter, right? And when he was at Brighton created loads of chances. Do you remember they had the highest chance creation, but they couldn't put the ball in the back of the net? because they didn't really have a scrappy number 9 or someone that was willing to die for that ball or, work that extra inch or extra half a yard. Victor Osimhen does that. Stylistically, I think he fits for Chelsea. And the money is 130 million, Mo, but we know that that's what's going to be because the striker market's not great. And Man United, Chelsea, PSG are 3 big teams who are looking for a striker.
I don't think that the guy should go to Chelsea, to be honest. If Man United is there, it's a better project for me.
I hope you're right. I do believe that.
I'm not about that. Like, for me, to be honest, it's just too much.
So what number 9 would you go for with Chelsea? Would you keep Broja? Would you?
How are you gonna have Joao Felix and Nkunku and Kai Havertz and Lukaku still on the book? If they sell Lukaku, yes. Also, these are 3 forwards. These are 3 forwards, straight forwards. Are you gonna play Kai Havertz as a 10? Are you gonna play Nkunku as a 10? Are you gonna play Joao Felix as a 10? How many people do you need on the team to make it work? You went for the false 9, you went for the Nkunkus, you went for the Felixes, you went for the Havertz. So now you want to sign a true number 9? That doesn't match the football. Even Pep Guardiola, when he has a set way of playing football, and that's what I don't get with Chelsea, Ty. Pep Guardiola, when he has a set way of playing football, he doesn't go sign a player just in case I want a number 9. You don't sign a 130 million striker to say, if I need a number 9. No, you don't. When you sign a number 9 like this, you switch your way of play to have a number 9. When you sign a Haaland, you switch your way of play to have a number 9. But signing the likes of Nkunku and Felix doesn't match this thing. It's a false 9 thing. It's as simple as that. And these are 2 superstars. Nkunku is a superstar. Joao Felix superstar. They have to start all the big games. Are you going to tell me that?
Don't you think you could play a triangle? Like, look at my hand. Don't you think you could play a narrow front 3 with Nkunku,
what about
Felix,
Sterling
and Osimhen as a number 9?
What about Sterling and Mudryk? These are superstars.
I honestly, I don't think Sterling's that great. I've never been the biggest fan of Sterling. Unfortunately,
I've never. Okay, listen. I've never been a big fan of Sterling. I'm not a big fan of Havertz. I'm not a big fan of Mudryk. But that's who they have. You know what I mean?
It's true. And you spent big money on Mudryk, so that's the one that I'll be looking at more next season rather than Sterling, because Mudryk has already come out and said
how much is Fofana? How much is that other guy?
I think Fofana was 30 something million. I believe
that's still money. Why is that? It's not. You need to have these guys playing football. I'm looking at their squad, and I'm looking at this. They need midfielders. And instead of going signing Osimhen, go sign another midfielder. Right? They have Raheem Sterling, Joao Felix. Aubameyang is leaving. They have Fofana. They have Madueke as well. Mudryk. I don't know. If they go sign Osimhen, for me, it's inflating the market.
They've got a lot. And did you know what? Someone made a good point as well, because with Osimhen, I hope he comes to Man United. I just believe that, honestly, any Man United fan here, I just believe that Erik ten Hag will want to go for Harry Kane. That's what I think. With a Casemiro 30-year-old signing, he will do that up front with Kane. Probably thinks he guarantees him 20 goals. But I want Osimhen. But obviously, if Kane comes, it's goals. However, with Osimhen, Man United and PSG can offer him one thing that other teams can't right now, like Chelsea. And that is guaranteed Champions League football. Chelsea are in the Champions League. We know they play Real Madrid. Could they beat Real Madrid? Maybe, but, probably not going to beat Bayern or City, let's be honest, on paper, if we're talking factually. So Osimhen goes to Chelsea. He's not going to get Champions League football. Something he's getting at Napoli now. He's not going to be winning the league. Something he's getting at Napoli now. You want to be, go into a team that is going to be challenging for trophies. It's going to improve you. You're going to a proper, development. And I'm not saying PSG are that sort of team that are, going to win the Champions League and have the greatest development. But with Luis Campos there, they're trying to change their projects and their ways. And Man United, everyone can see what Erik ten Hag's trying to do. So for me, if I was Osimhen, I'm going to Man United or PSG. However, obviously Man United are not guaranteed top 4. I get that. We've still got a job to do, but right now we're in a better position. But with Chelsea tomorrow, what do you think about the mental state of Chelsea? Because they're in the Champions League, right? But they're obviously out of the top 4 race in the Premier League. However, people have been saying on other shows I've been listening to and stuff that, it doesn't really matter for Chelsea because they're out of the top 4 race and stuff like that. I actually flipped it in my head and I thought, if that's the mentality they're going to have, then they're not even going to succeed in the Champions League. I still think they'll want to go into every game, try and win it, try and build momentum. And the main thing is, Mo, you just even said they've got quite a big squad, 25-man squad in the Champions League as well. The players that are playing are going to want to perform because they want to play in the Champions League against Real Madrid. If you play well in the Premier League, you will start in the Champions League. Now, we could rotate a little bit, but I still think Chelsea have something to play for mentally because they've still got the Champions League. It's not like they're out of the Champions League and it's just like they finished 10th and we'll see where the season goes. because they've got that game there against Real Madrid, I still think they want to win and build momentum because it's confidence. What do you think mentally wise for Chelsea?
They should play every game in the league. Listen, you never know what's going to happen. They are how many points behind? They are 11 points behind Spurs with a game in hand, basically. So they are basically 8 points out of the top 4. Basically, that's what it is. It's just numbers. 10 games left. Anything can happen. I know it's very hard to ask all these players, all these teams to drop points. For the people that ask who do I support, I don't support anyone in the Premier League. However, I'd probably watch every single game. Big fan of the Premier League. Always go for the underdogs.
Yeah, he supports all the teams in that screen behind him. Says Liverpool, City, United,
so you can tell I support all these teams. The big 5.
The big 5. There we go.
So no, I don't support anybody. I always go for the underdog, and for me, the underdog this year are Arsenal because of the dominance that City had last couple of years. So I'm really rooting for Arsenal to win the league just for a change of scenery. You know, like you want to see new teams, and also they haven't won the league for 20 years. So if that's not an underdog story, what's an underdog story?
Yeah, it is an underdog story. It's weird actually. Would you? Yeah, is it like an underdog story?
100% it's an underdog story. They were in 5th and 10th in the last 2 years. Haven't won the league in 20 years.
It's true. It's just because the name's Arsenal, it doesn't feel like it. But no, it's a bit of an underdog.
Definitely an underdog story. Like, come on.
What do you think then? Do you think with Chelsea you were saying that they should take every game seriously?
100%.
Yeah, you
100%.
Would. Do you feel
Chelsea should play every game because also there is a chance they play Europa League. Europa League is not bad for them. And if you have a big squad, as you're going to have next year, you want to make everybody happy. And Europa League have extra games than even Champions League.
Yep.
So choose that over no European football. Imagine if you have that big of a squad without European football. Europa League makes money, generates money, and also a lot of games. So you can play your second player. So please, I think Chelsea should go for every game. But throwing the league away and coming 10th, it's not a good look. It's not a good look for Chelsea. And it's not a good look for attracting players as well.
Exactly. You can build some momentum now. Like it's like not saying it's a clean slate, but after the international break, it's like, right, this is the last rush now. It's 2 months, put in some good performances in the league. They also play an important part in the league, by the way. They've still got to play Arsenal. I believe they've still maybe got to play Man City. So there's games there that they're going to be involved in that could decide the Premier League one way or another. So there's games to play for. They're still in the Champions League. Big up Chavarelli. There's
Chavarelli is saying I was a Chelsea fan at some point. This is the first. This is the first. I've been called a Man United lover, a Spurs supporter. I've never been called a Man City supporter, by the way. People never said that somehow because I have an agenda against them. People say that, but that's the first, that I'm a Chelsea fan. That's first.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. 150 of you in there, guys. Make sure you keep smashing up the like button as well. The like button comes free. Please help us with the channel. It pushes out to the new people and everything, and all you guys that are here, all the obviously the members and everything, and you guys at Regular Watch. Thank you so much. So hit that thumb. Big up Roms as well. He's on Rivals with me on Sunday at 12 o'clock. So we'll be talking on that City game. Definitely smash the likes, people. He says as well. I think it's so interesting with this Chelsea team because, like I said, I would take it seriously as well, Mo. And I think they need to start scoring goals, need to start building momentum, 100 million %. But I do want to give some credit to Aston Villa because, of course, we do previews and a lot of people talk on the big teams. They watch the big teams, but you've got a team like Aston Villa who, historic-wise, are a big team. But I respect what they're doing at the moment. They've been getting a few plucky results. They've got Unai Emery there as a coach, and he knows how to win big games. He knows how to set up against big teams. He's gone to Bayern Munich with Villarreal and beaten them over 2 legs. This is a guy that's going to come to Stamford Bridge tomorrow with a game plan. He's got Ollie Watkins, who is scoring goals at the moment, despite people might not like him. He's scoring goals. He works hard. He runs the channels. And they've got a few players like Leon Bailey, Buendia that can, create something. So do you think Villa could go to Stamford Bridge and win tomorrow?
Yes, 100%. I think if you're looking at the reality, if you're looking at the forms, if you're looking at how the two teams play, I think Aston Villa should be going to the game thinking that we can get something out of it. It's not bad. It's not a bad thinking from them to think, no, we're gonna go and get a point. No, they can go and win the game. They have been playing good lately. I think Unai Emery got them clicking. Unai Emery got them to play a very good brand of football. And I think they can go to Stamford Bridge and get a result, a win or a draw, maybe. But I think they can get a result for sure.
Yeah. What would you say your score prediction would be then?
2-2.
Oh my god! I was gonna say the same. I didn't think you were gonna do that. Oh, we're going Desmond too. Yeah, I think. Do you know what? I got a feeling it might be the same as what it was 2 weeks ago. Chelsea go 2-1 up. Potter, I like him, but his in-game management was very questionable with his subs and stuff. Has he learned from that? We will find out. But I think Villa could score a late goal, and I think it could be 2-2. I think it'll be a good game, actually. I know it's a 5:30 kickoff, so it's a late kickoff here in England, but yeah, I'm hoping for some goals. So yeah, it'll be interesting. Guys, obviously, you know what it is. Manchester United today as well, Mo. There's been news. Luke Shaw signed a new deal, 4 years. We'll touch on that first. 27 years of age now, so he's going to take him to his 31 if he stays the whole of his contract. Rashford's declared fit. Martial back in the squad finally. Hopefully he can stay fit. But there's been a bit obviously news in Manchester United because the Luke Shaw news come out of nowhere, which did surprise me. And obviously having Rashford fit is a plus, and Martial back, which is obviously when he's played, he's been very effective. So what's your thoughts on the Luke Shaw contract as a neutral? Before I have a say, has it surprised you that Manchester United have handed a 4-year contract to him? First of all, at this point in the season, and second of all, do you think he deserves it?
Yeah, he does. Luke Shaw has been good now under Ten Hag. I think he has been developing magnificently under Ten Hag, to be honest. I never expected him to be this good. I think he's playing good. I think he had a couple of bad games against Liverpool and against Arsenal, and it was not only him, it was the whole team. We're not playing well. I think against Arsenal, Saka really pushed him back and pushed him to the limits of defensive inside the area. But I think Luke Shaw is developing to be a Ten Hag player. He's very good on the ball, which is something that Ten Hag wants from his left back. I think Malacia is not the guy for Man United as a starter or as a bench. To be honest, I don't think he's good enough for Man United. As this is what I
thought.
Had a
good first season, but we'll see. Yeah,
he had an okay first season.
Yeah, but I think for a noob, we've seen a lot of newbies. Okay, how do I look at it? We've seen a lot of bigger names come into the Premier League and struggle after their first season, and he's actually been okay. He's held it down. So
he's played okay, but I don't think he's. But that's what I'm saying. I don't think he is the guy to go forward for Man United, unless you're gonna put him as a bench player for Luke Shaw, which it looks like this is what's gonna happen. I thought Man United would go for another left back, another top left back. There's the guy. There's a guy from Napoli. I don't know, the Uruguayan guy from Napoli. Oliveira, he's very, very good, plays football on the ground, might fit Ten Hag, and a big body as well, and can play with a header. So I think this is, I thought they would go for someone like this. However, it's only fair to give Luke Shaw a 4-year contract that will end at 31 years old. And I think this is his last big contract. So I think they made the right move. And he also made the right move to agree to this contract. I think Luke Shaw is one of the pillars in the England squad as well.
Yep.
So that adds a lot to the team, especially with the Euro coming. And I think he is one of your English faces. You know what I mean? Because Maguire is going to go, so it's going to be him and Rashford. I think that's what it is. I like Luke Shaw. And I think it's a good signing, a new contract for him, 4 years. Get it out of the way before the season starts, before the season ends, and before the summer hectic. And because I think Man United will invest heavily this summer. So I think locking down the players you have now is better than having war onto France, looking at your players that you have already in the squad and also looking at the market. So I think it's a very, very good move from the management.
Do you know what? I actually agree with that. I think with Luke Shaw signing a new deal, I think he deserves it this season. One thing that I've always criticized Luke Shaw for is he gets good spells and, he plays really well. Then I feel like Luke Shaw can get comfortable. And then, he gets a bit complacent at times and he finds it easy. However, one thing with him now is that with a manager like Erik Ten Hag, I believe that he's not allowed to get complacent. Erik Ten Hag wants you performing at your best at all times. We've already seen it. He's dropped Maguire. He's dropped Luke Shaw earlier in the season from last year. So if he does that again, you won't play despite getting a new contract. However, when I look at the Manchester United squad, if you look at every position in that team, I do feel like left back with Malacia and Shaw is one of our most secure positions in the team at the moment. And I don't feel like it's a priority for us right now to go out and get another left back. So locking in Luke Shaw at 27 years of age, this should be mathematically your prime years as well, 27 to 31, you could say, as a left back. I think this is where he can hopefully elevate his game and grow. You know, he's controlling his weight. He's staying more fit. He's got belief from the manager. If anything, all the signs are pointing to a positive direction. He's got his England place back. So I'm happy with the contract. And obviously it's 4 years. At the end of the day, if he does 2 more years and we sell him at 29 because it doesn't quite work out, then so be it. But I think Manchester United have got a lot more to gain out of it than lose. So I think it's a smart move from Ten Hag. And now hopefully he can just kick on himself, you know. I look at Ten Hag and I feel like he's actually a coach, Mo, and I feel like he can develop and make players better. So for me, it's a good move.
It's an absolutely good move. So let's talk about the Newcastle game a little bit.
Yeah.
And any other news for Man United about the sale and all the stuff?
No, not too much is coming out, to be honest. I think the club are probably just trying to focus a lot on.
Are you scared of them not selling?
I wouldn't say scared. Good question. I wouldn't say scared, but I'm starting to say if nothing happens within the next month, right? I will start to wonder what's really going on, because I think if you've had people make bids once, come back and make a second bid, and then there's no development, if you calculate that whole time, that's probably 8 to 10 weeks in total by the end of the next month. I would then start thinking what's going on. So I'm not worried yet. But let's see what happens. Ask me in a month's time. This is an important month because obviously we've got big games and stuff. So we'll see.
Big game. So Man United, Newcastle.
Big game. This is huge. Do you know what, Mo? This is the second biggest game this weekend. And I'm not saying it because I'm a Man United fan. You've got Man City, Liverpool, which definitely steals the headlines, 100%. You've got Arsenal that should be beating Leeds. You've got Chelsea, Villa, which is nothing to play for. You've got Everton, Tottenham. Tottenham are in the top 4 race, but Everton are struggling. You've got Newcastle and Manchester United. Now, there's 3 points in it, Mo, if you look at the table. Newcastle beat us on Sunday. They go above us. Their goal difference is superior by 14. It's a huge game. We've got no Casemiro. You know, we've just had the international break. They've got a few players like Joe Linton back from suspension. I'm nervous in a weird way. It's not nervous because I'm scared, it's Newcastle. I just know that they're going to want revenge for the final. It's a hostile atmosphere, 4:30 on a Sunday at St. James's. Everyone knows it's like that curse. You play in a 12:30 game, early kickoff. They always give you a few of them vibes. And this is going to be a Newcastle team that are proper up for it. And this is a big game. If we beat them, we're 6 points clear. That kind of gets us away with a few games left in the season. No Casemiro. Can the United midfield step up? Can they? Are they good enough?
No, I don't think so. Look, listen. I know you beat Newcastle in the cup earlier, but
by Monday.
If you look at that game, Newcastle were really on par with Man United. They started the game controlling the position, and I think they played these long balls and crosses and a lot of crosses for them. And I think Man United with that Casemiro that game kind of made the difference in that game.
You're right.
For me, without Casemiro, the players have to step up massively. Can they do it? Everything. Anybody can do anything, Ty. Anybody can do anything. But if you look at the paper, St. James Park, without Casemiro, they don't have Almiron, but who cares? I think Newcastle should be favorites to go this game. I know you're talking Man United, but you're looking at it. They're 3 points behind you.
You can see why I'm nervous a bit, can't you?
Exactly, of course, because you're a very realistic person. You're looking at the games from every aspect, and looking. I don't have my main defensive midfielder. Mm-hmm. Newcastle now they want that top 4 position now. They play for They have nothing else to play for. It's only top 4 now. And I think they're going to go. You still have Europa League. You still have the Cup. You still have 2 other competitions that you're in for. But they don't. Newcastle, for me, are playing this game. Every game now is a final for them. And they're going to go into this game. The fans are going to be buzzing. The fans are going to be jumping up and down. The fans are going to be looking at this and saying, we can really go third here.
Yeah.
It's an opportunity for us. It's not just playing for top 4 now. We can actually go third in this league behind Man City and Arsenal. in our first full season with this ownership and Eddie
And
Howe.
they're coming off, Mo, as well, psychologically, the back of a 90th minute win against Nottingham Forest, which
Yeah.
you know is huge. Isaac even said in the interview after, I don't matter. It didn't matter. Eddie Howe said it didn't matter how we won the game, as long as we won the game. And you could see the way, and I'm sure you probably watched it as well on a Friday night, the way the fans were celebrating. That was a huge win psychologically going into this break. Now, like you said, the fans are going to be ready. The players are going to be ready. They're now 3 points behind us instead of 6. Why as a Man United fan shouldn't I be careful about going to this game? I'll be very unrealistic if I come in here and said, yeah, we're beating them 2-0, it's going to be easy. I'm not here to do that. I know that Man United can beat them. I know if the best Man United turns up and the best Newcastle turns up, I think we're better. I think Rashford can score. Martial's back. He can get on the score sheet. Bruno, Anthony, Sancho. We've got players that can score goals more than they have. However, they did have spells in that first half in the Carabao Cup final. Without Casemiro, can we distract them fires? And also, one thing I don't like about St. James's, and you'll understand this, Mo, is that every home team always has moments of pressure. You could go to the bottom team in the Premier League, and they will have 10 minutes or 15 minutes in a game, even against Man City, Arsenal, and they will have pressure. Might not score, but they'll have moments. Newcastle are going to have waves of attack. Can I believe that our midfield is going to be able to keep the ball calm and keep them out? That's what I'm more nervous about. I believe we can score on the break, but when Newcastle are having waves and waves, Mo, with no Casemiro there, can we deal with the pressure of them just keep getting that ball in or not allowing us to get out of the half? Because it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
People in the comments, I need everyone in the comments, please, to give me your prediction. I need everyone. We got 140 people watching. I need predictions for this game. I don't want like sophistication thing. I just want predictions. What's the scoreline going to be for this game? For me, the scoreline for this game is going to be 2-1 for Newcastle. Why I'm saying that? Newcastle have now got their shooting boots back. They scored 2 goals in 2 consecutive games, which didn't happen over the past two months. And I think for me, Newcastle now, without Casemiro, they're going to look at this game and think this is our opportunity. This is our opportunity to beat Man United and jump on that 3rd place. And I think tactically, Man United should be, it's going to be hard to deal with that midfield of Joao Linton is back, Bruno Guimaraes is as well. I think this is going to be tough. I think it's going to be tough for Man United.
I'm making a promo.
Yes. Okay, I know. So people in the comments, I think this is an exciting. Let me just tell you something. This is more exciting than Man City and Liverpool. Why? Because I think this game can go either way. I think Man City are favorites against Liverpool, especially this Liverpool. But I don't see any favorites here. Man United, Newcastle. It's a clearly a 50-50 game. 50-50 game. Anyone can win this game. So I think Man City will win against Liverpool. I think this game, I can predict it. I think 2-1 Newcastle. But tactically, Ten Hag still can do his magic and come up with a plan that will work. Isolate Rashford with Trippier on that left side. And I think Rashford, I'll take that battle any day. Rashford versus Trippier. And I think he will do too. 1-on-1 on that left side. He will go against him. And I think Rashford will beat Kieran Trippier. I think it's all about who is going to be more composed.
Yeah, it is. It is going to be about who can be more composed because their midfield obviously lacks a bit of composure in terms of Bruno's quite composed, but Longstaff's got legs. Joelinton's more of an attacker, converted midfielder. We've got Sabitzer and Fred, potentially McTominay, Bruno. There's no one with real calmness. It could be a game that's quite end to end. It could be goals. It could be one of them ones where there's not a lot of goals. I'm with you, Mo. I'm in the camp as a Man United fan where I don't know what's going to happen. If you gave me £100 now and said put it on something, I would not walk out the room confident with whatever decision I've made. No way. Crunk King says we were super fatigued in those games, though. Hopefully that international break served us well. I agree with you on that comment, Grunt King. I think Man United were, fatigued. We needed the break. I was excited to get to a rest. And I think what Mo just touched on there, which I think is very interesting, is you just said that Ten Hag's more like Ten Hag's a tactician. We went to the Arsenal game, Mo, without Casemiro. Within 3 days, we came up with a plan which was good enough to get us to 90 minutes, and we only just lost the game. Now, Ten Hag's had 2 weeks to know Casemiro's not there. he should have come up with a plan. He should have come up with something that he feels good enough to win the game. Now, whether it happens or not, we don't know. But I do believe in my manager, and I do believe that just because Casemiro isn't there, it doesn't mean that he can't come up with something that, you know, is good enough to beat Newcastle. So you're right. It's going to be another test for Ten Hag, and I'm hoping that, you know, it goes in our favor. Big up everyone that's getting your comments in as well. As Mo's going through them, make sure you keep smashing the like
I'm
button.
going through the predictions, and it looks like
Yeah.
only Man United fans are predicting Man United wins.
Make sure you're liking the video, people. Make sure you're subscribing if you're new as well. So yeah, big up for all your support. I'm looking at the poll, Mo, and at the moment, if I'm right, it says 57% Newcastle win at the moment.
Wow.
So yeah, people are confident in the Newcastle win.
Yeah, it's kind of,
yeah, it is. It's going to be at 21% Man United, 21% Jaw, and 55% Newcastle at the moment. So yeah, keep them votes coming in, people. It is going to be a great game. And do you think, by the way, just before we move on, and we'll just quickly wrap up on the Everton Tottenham game and touch on the others, do you feel like if Newcastle don't win this, top four's over for them?
No, 100% no, because it's very close. It's very close.
Yeah, but do you feel that Newcastle are good enough to get the momentum and getting more points than the Tottenhams and stuff like that?
Yes, I think so. I think so. Like, listen, there has only Man United have been a little bit consistent in that top four race.
Yeah,
I think Newcastle no, Liverpool not. I think Spurs, of course, definitely they aren't consistent. There is a team we're gonna sleep on because I put this team on the screen in front of you because I really want to talk about this game later. Touch on it. Brighton, Brentford. It's a massive game this weekend because both teams are pushing for Europe. But to be honest, I don't think it's doom and gloom for Newcastle, even if they lose this game, because remember, Liverpool might lose to Man City. Spurs, who says they're gonna win away at Goodison Park? I doubt it. I want to put my money on it. So it's still that fourth place is still up for grabs for everybody.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. It's really up for grabs. This question is well good, Mo, as well. Christian says, would you take FA Cup Carabao double but fifth place?
No.
I want top four.
People need to understand something. For the big clubs,
I want top four.
FA Cups and Carabao Cups. Maybe for Spurs, yes, but
yeah,
Champions League is prestige, guys. Champions League is global recognition. People in Asia, people in America, people in Africa, they wake up to watch Champions League. They wait to watch Champions League. In Australia, Champions League is I know that people want to say Premier League. Champions League is the top competition, guys. Club-wise, it's the top competition. Big clubs want to play Champions League. There's money, big money in Champions League. You win one game, guys, in Champions League. I think you go one round on and you make 12 million or something. People make 80. Juventus 1 year made 73 million from playing European football and didn't even win it. They only reached the final at 2017. 70. Can you imagine 70? You making 70 million?
That's crazy.
It's massive.
Yeah,
that's absolutely massive.
And for any club, that's
a lot of money, bro.
Yeah, a lot of money. Yeah, I didn't realize
tons of salaries. Yeah,
that's interesting to look at. That is interesting.
And where is that coming from, Ty? It's coming from ads. It's coming from broadcasting, and so that's why people want to say the Premier League is absolutely fantastic, great, and everything. The Champions League, guys, this is the top of club football. When you win the Champions League, this is like the World Cup for clubs. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. 100%. Guys, make sure you smashing the like button. We're just going to touch on the other games around the clock. Let's start with Brighton Brentford, because Brighton are not out of the Champions League race by any means. They've got a great manager. They've got a young striker in Evan Ferguson. They've got Matoma and March, who are flying down the wings at the moment. They're on Red Bull at the moment. It's giving them wings, definitely. But yeah, in regards to Brighton, how serious a day for you in terms of challenging for Europe? Because you wanted to touch on them most. So yeah,
they're serious. It's not a bad shot, but Brighton might be in for a top four finish. 25 games only, 42 points. They are 3 games behind Spurs with only 6 points behind Spurs, 7 points behind Spurs. They are flying in terms of form. They are playing magnificently, and I love them, and I love watching them. And I would like for them to get top 4, to be honest. 5 games, won 4 and draw 1 in the last 5 games. Believe it or not, including the cup games. Actually, let's circle back to them winning against Bournemouth. So it's absolutely Brighton. I think they are the informed team in the league. Actually, if you ask me. So quickly, this game is going to be exciting. It's going to be great to watch. It's going to be a fantastic watch. And I would tip Brighton to win just because they're playing at home. And they'll go a step closer to that top 4 place because Man United and Newcastle play each other.
True.
So
yeah,
that's and Spurs play away at Goodison Park, which is. But this game, if you are planning to watch this game, put it on a second screen or something. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be absolutely great.
And you know what, Brentford as well, I give them respect as well. If they play good football, their away form is not great, but with Ivan Toney, Brandon Buemo, they're going to have moments. They're going to have chances maybe on the break that, they try and capitalize. But Brighton need to start winning these games more convincingly as well. I know that they're playing well. They're scoring goals. But, only a few weeks ago, they lost to Fulham at home 1-0. That was their last loss, I think. That was about a month ago now. But it just shows that it can happen. I really like Brighton. And you know what, Mo? I would love nothing more for them to get top 4. And no disrespect to Tottenham and Newcastle, because Tottenham have got Harry Kane, they've got Heung-min Son, they've got better players on paper, you'd say. But as a team, I love watching Brighton. I love what Brighton are about. And if you actually ask me who's a better team, Brighton, Tottenham, or Newcastle, I'd actually want to say Brighton, if I'm honest. So why don't they deserve to be in the hunt for the top 4? That's how I look at it. I know people say, but it's only Brighton, or a lot of people go by the name. I'm putting the name aside. If they didn't have a name and you just sat me in front of the TV, Mum, and said, let's watch these games, I'll be like, this team have got to be one of the best in the league.
Yeah, of course. If you don't know, you're like, this should be the top.
Yeah, you would. And
it's a fantastic brand of football, along with the scoring goals, and it's fantastic. Like,
yeah,
to be honest,
no, it is. It'll be interesting to see. Actually, I'm going to go for a tight 2-1 in that game. I don't think they'll steamroll Brentford. I think that's going to be a good game, actually.
Yeah, Brentford. Yeah. You don't win. Like Brentford are a strong team as well, so I think Brighton will win it, but I think it will be tight. It will be tight.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't be surprised if Brentford snatched something out of this game. To be honest,
exactly.
I wouldn't be surprised.
They deserve it. I love that comment.
Yeah,
that's
they deserve it.
One.
Oh, this is a fantastic one, Martin.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Martin, I might have to use this.
They deserve
you guys watching Bayern versus Dortmund. I'm going to have the Chelsea game on, and I'm going to try and have the Dortmund Bayern game on the iPad. Brilliant game. I know Mo will be watching it as well, of course.
But Inter will be playing at half an hour before, so I'll have 3 games at that time.
You're going to have about 4 screens on.
Yeah. That day it will be 3 games at the same time. So
yeah, no, that's a great game. And don't forget Daniel as well. Me and Mo are on Grizz's show weekly, so that'll be Wednesday or Thursday next week. We'll be doing European talks. So it'll be great for that one as well. I rate Solly March is what Crunk says as well. Keep smashing the like button, people. Last game we're going to discuss now before we get ready for the Premier League weekend, and it is managerless Spurs versus Sean Dyche's Everton.
Yeah, this is not looking good. However, Stellini might pull the rabbit out of the hat and win this game and prove that it can be done. It was Conte's problem. Conte was the problem. So for me, before we move on, Nav Watchalongs, guys, I decided to put it on hold because I really don't have time to do one game because the games come quick and fast, and I'm gonna try maybe towards the end of the season to do some of the Champions League games, but now it's gonna be tough. I'm gonna when it goes to the semifinals, I'm gonna try to do Champions League games, but now games are flying, to be honest, and it's very hard to do one watch along and then focus on the other games as well. It's impossible, to be honest, but I'm gonna try to make it up again. Spurs.
Yeah, let's wrap it up on Spurs. What are you thinking? Are they going to
now that Conte left? Let me just get this out of there. Now that Conte left, let them finish 7th. Let them finish 8th. Who cares about Spurs? Because I believe there is no top 6 in the English football, and I know Spurs fans will hate me to say that, but I don't think Spurs are one of the top teams in England. I don't think so because they challenged a couple of years ago because they went to the Champions League final. I don't think they are. Their recruitment aren't great. The way they manage the football club aren't great. And I'm sorry to say that, but I'm watching Spurs and I think if you remove Harry Kane from that team, nobody will watch them. They won't be considered a big team. I'm sorry 100%. To say that.
I agree.
If it's not only about goals and it's not only about form and stuff. If you remove Harry Kane from that team, the superstar. Let me just say stature You know what I mean? Like this big team stature, because they have Harry Kane. Now, I think there is a lot of media about them, because if Harry Kane is not in that club, I think this club goes back to where I watched them in 2008, 2000. They were good under what's his
Harry
name?
Redknapp.
Harry Redknapp. They were great football to watch, amazing. They reached a quarterfinal in the Champions
Yeah.
League, but that's about it. I think if this team,
I'm with you. I'm with you, man.
I don't know why. And I want to add something here. There's an Arabic channel that I made with one of my friends. I got invited to do an Arabic channel. This is gonna sound so strange. If anybody is an Arabic speaker, we have a channel called Big Five, but in Arabic it's called Big Khamsa. So it's called El Khamsa Al Kubar. It's only Big Five, because I refused to put Spurs on there. He asked me and I said no, because I think they will be replaced by Newcastle. I think if they don't get sold to some big money Arab or an American, I think they're gonna fall out of the top teams. Even the likes of Man United now, look at how you got a good manager. It's working now. You're third in the league, and you are in the Europa League and the cups, and you won already a cup. I think Spurs are gonna fall off, and I don't think they're gonna be in the top. This is not gonna be top six tie. Within 2-3 years, there's not gonna be top six. There's not going to be.
Interesting. Okay, yeah. So even because someone even put a comment in which is very interesting, Spurs don't produce good players. Like when you actually look at their academy, they don't really bring players up through their academy.
Harry Winks, Oliver Skip.
I'm sorry, but if people are thinking they're elite, then of course there's an issue there. They're very basic players. I like Harry Winks in terms of the profile he is, because England actually don't have that profile. He's just not quite good enough. But England need that type of profile, to be fair. But
this comment type, yes, commercial, but guys. Commercial revenues come from superstores. Commercial revenues come from being a global brand. Spurs in the Middle East, they don't have a lot of supporters, I guess. And if Harry Kane leaves next year, who's the face of the club? Who, global wise, who's the face of the club?
It actually is Heung-min Son, isn't it?
Which is in only in Korea. So even they wanna move on from Heung-min Son. So who's it? You're gonna get younger players? I don't think. I get what you're saying from commercial revenue, from the stadium and all this stuff. But again, commercial revenues, it looks like Spurs are bringing revenues from concerts and stuff like this. Believe me, anybody in the Premier League make money. A lot of teams. Nottingham Forest were allowed to sign 25 players. But that's it. But let's talk about Everton. I would tip Everton to win this game, just at home, or get a point. I wouldn't get my hopes high for Spurs to make top four now. Stellini, maybe new blood. He's Conte's assistant for a year. But if I was Spurs fan, I would sit down and say my club has fucked up big time.
Yeah, I wouldn't be. I see Spurs fans arguing amongst themselves daily, somewhat this, somewhat that, and I just don't feel like they're going to get what they want. Of course, they could want new owners, but why are you going to be selling the club as a new owner if you're getting the investment from NFL? You're now building a go-karting track underneath the stadium, whatever it is. They're making the money that they want to make. Unfortunately, Spurs owners' ambition is not the same as the fans' ambition. And that's the truth. That's the if I had to sum up in one sentence, the Spurs owners' ambition is not the same as what the fans want. And that's where you're stuck, because if that's never meeting in the middle, then it's never going to work. If a manager comes into a football club like Antonio Conte that wants to win things, but the owners don't really care about being the best or, pursuing every goal or everything they can do to win things, then that's never going to work. And for a successful club to work, the manager and the owners need to be aligned, and then the fans come in the middle and you all meet halfway. That's not happening at Spurs, and I don't see that changing. So they're just going to be that club where top four is going to be good enough for them. They'll try and win a trophy here and there if they can domestically, but I wouldn't want to be a Spurs fan if I'm totally honest. And I actually think, right, talking on this game as well, before we do wrap up, that they could go to Everton on a Monday night, 8 o'clock. Everton are desperate for a win, by the way. It wouldn't surprise me if Everton went and won 1-0. Now, I do expect Spurs to go to Everton and win, because I think that Spurs will score more goals than them. However, if Everton, get the crowd going, they believe in their team for that game, they're fresh after the international break, it wouldn't surprise me if Spurs went and lost 1-0, because that's what Tottenham do. And it's not just making it up. We've seen it over the years, Mo. It wouldn't even surprise me.
Listen, Spurs can smash Everton or can lose 1-0.
Yeah, literally.
They are very, very inconsistent Spurs, but I wouldn't put my money. I wouldn't put my money on Spurs this game, and I wouldn't put my money on Everton. But Sean Dyche is there to play defensively, but also Stellini is there, and he is successful in most of the games he managed. So I think this is gonna be. But I think if Spurs lose this game, I'm just being honest here, I think top 4 is done for them. Even though they're 4th, but guys, they play 28 games. They're gonna be 29 games in with 49 points. I know that you want to say yes, we're there, we're top 4, stuff like this. I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced that this Spurs team, let me just put it this way. Out of all the teams, Manchester United, Newcastle, Brighton, and Spurs, I'm convinced that Spurs are the ones that don't deserve to make top 4.
Yeah, I agree with you. I just don't, and I don't really want them to make top 4, if I'm honest. I just think they could be a better advert as well and a better team. They would go in there, probably not saying it's all about money, but probably like Newcastle went there. They'll have the fans back in. They'll go out and get a few more better players. And I think a Champions League night at St. James's would be great. I would watch it because I think, oh my God, do you know what I mean? It just gives you that sort of vibe. So,
and I know if they get Champions League tie, they're gonna invest heavily.
Yeah,
they're gonna get superstars in.
Yeah, they're gonna invest. So it'll be exciting to see a change in the top 4. And I don't think Spurs, like you said, the football they play, the consistency, it's not good enough to get the Champions League. But let's see what happens, guys. The Premier League is back tomorrow. Manchester City versus Liverpool kicks it off at 12:30. Then you've got the 3:00 games, of course. It includes Arsenal, Leeds. You've got Brighton, Brentford as well. Super Sunday, of course, is West Ham, Southampton, relegation battle there. Then you've got Newcastle, Manchester United at 4:30. Then on Monday, you've got Everton, Spurs, as we just touched on. But don't forget, guys, as well, a lot of midweek football to come as well. It's a double game week. So if you play your fantasy football as well, make sure you do your team. Guys, thank you ever so much for your comments. We see them throughout the show. All the members that have been involved as well. Thank you, guys, as you continue to do your membership. We really appreciate it. All the new guys here, subscribe if you're new. We really love that as well. And all the regulars that are here. So, guys, have a blessed Friday. We'll be back tomorrow with the debate show about 9:15 tomorrow before the Anthony Joshua fight. So don't worry, guys. Be here. You won't miss the fight. We will end it before the fight. Discussing all the results. Mo will be here with a panel. And then I'll be here doing the Sunday's Rivals Not Virals at 12 as well. So a big weekend of Premier League football. Make sure you smash the like button, people. Like I said, before we wrap up, we really appreciate your support. And Mo, is there anything you want to say before I do the outro?
No, I'm just waiting for this week to start now.
One more sleep. It's like Christmas.
One more sleep. Premier League is back.
It is. And guys, happy Ramadan to those that are still celebrating. Of course, keep strong with your families, and I hope it's all going well. Big up.